Hey everybody, it's Robert. I have one of my oldest t-shirts. If you remember this character, this is the Flash. My fantasy stuff. I like to fantasize I can run as fast as the Flash. I never could. I was never the fastest sprinter. I was more of a longer distance guy. And I did pretty well at that. But fantasy, to tell you the truth, years ago my fantasy was to be a decathlete. And I'm only about 5'7". I don't have anywhere close to the natural speed to do the decathlon. There's 10 events, and you pretty much have to dedicate your entire life to doing that event. But one of those fantasies I had. I could run the 1,500 meters okay. It's the other 9 events. The high jump, forget it. Anyway, if you saw the last episode, I told you about being a fitness sap. Hopefully you've taken that to heart and you're starting to think about, please don't be a fitness sap. And I was going to give you a case study of an old client of mine. Actually, he's not an old client. I still work with him. He's my oldest client. This is a guy that's, I think he's 51, 52. Most of his life he had problems with asthma, never worked out, stiff as a board, and decided to take up MMA, mixed martial arts training, at a franchise here in New York City who shall remain nameless. But they have many branches throughout the tri-state area here. And yes, he did get much more fit. His breathing is so much better, he's stronger. He can certainly generate work for a much longer period of time at a much higher level. But today, more than ever, maybe not his case so much, we have devised methods scientifically where we can easily pile fitness on top of a very dysfunctional body. You can go to any gym and see the exercise machines and see how it's done. You can sit there all day doing this, sitting on a recumbent bike, holding onto the rails of a treadmill. You can certainly pile fitness on top of a dysfunctional body, on top of a stiff body, on top of a body where it's actually pretty weak in all those little stabilizer muscles that have to activate first so the big muscles can do their job right. Take someone that goes out, as I said last time, running for the first time and within a week injures themselves. They obviously had an imbalance they had to take care of first. They were a fitness sap. And this guy's a fitness sap. Why? Well, before he works out now, he has piled fitness on top of a very dysfunctional body. Hamstrings so tight, he has let a hip get so bad, he has a big cyst inside that they have not removed, that he insists, or they insist on not wanting to remove. The shape of his hips are such that he'll never be very flexible, the shape of the bones, but they could certainly be better than they are now. His back is always stiff, back pain, comes in and says, oh, my back is so sore after this workout that he did yesterday. His neck, he had to have a shoulder surgery to remove bone spurs that came from years of moving the shoulder badly. I could go on and on and on and on. Doesn't work on any of it. Part of the attitude is, oh, the back pain is just part of the game. It's supposed to be there. No, it's not. This is the kind of people that eat Tylenol for breakfast or Advil. No, that's being a fitness sap. Remember I showed you last time Gray Cook's 3 kind of tier fitness building block. Remember, the bottom one, the one that needs to be the broadest, is basic movement. Okay? How you move in basic movements. Not anything fancy, not running, not jumping, anything like this. These are very basic things that are screened. Number 2 is performance. And this would be the strength, the stamina, the flexibility, mobility, all that stuff. And then more for an athlete, but for anybody really, skill, that'd be technique, would be piled on top of that. So let's say for a runner, it would be the technique of running better. However, as Bruce Lee once said, technique, which would be skill, has to be built upon a good base of strength and flexibility. But to take that a step farther, strength and flexibility need to be built on a base of basic movement, which a lot of people have lost through the years, gone. Just certain movements, some they might still have, some they might have part of, and this really needs to be developed first and tested. That's how you know a good trainer, is if they test this first before moving on to any of this. Okay. So this guy has done none of this. He doesn't really bother with it. If I have him do some of this, he says, oh, why do we have to do this stuff? Let's just get on with the real stuff. Well, that is a fitness sap. In fact, the true great athletes I've met have worked on step A more than anything. They refined it, got the basic things, the building blocks. Greats like Michael Jordan, for instance, stressed the fundamentals. John Wooden, the great coach at UCLA, constantly worked on the fundamentals. And in today's society, we have kids that go right to specialized training before their bones are even grown all the way. Big mistake. Specializing in whatever sport it is. And they all say, oh, he's going to be a great athlete. She's going to be a great athlete, a great soccer player, this. And then blows a knee out, blows a back out, tears an ab muscle, gets what they call a sports hernia, gets nothing but ankle problems, shoulder, blah, 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 blah. Because the basic stuff wasn't worked on. I knew kids, back when I was in high school, state champions in cross country, who in high school were very good runners. Moved on to college, they were burnt out, and they just couldn't do it anymore. They specialized, I think, too early. The African distance runners, on the other hand, they worked on the fundamentals for years before they moved up to more specialized running. They just ran to and from school, whatever pace they wanted, over hill and dale, 5 days a week. So, there's a lot of problems, I think, in today's fitness and exercise. So how do you know how to begin an exercise program? Well, one, if you screen yourself for basic movements, and you shouldn't really be screening yourself, a person that knows what they're doing should do it instead, and you have any pain in any of these movements, not stiffness, restrictions, you're grunting and struggling, but I mean pain, especially in joints, and your back is made up of all joints, so this could be foot, heel, ankle, knee, hip, anywhere up and down your back, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, neck, jaw, all these joints, any of those, it needs to be addressed by a professional, a PT, a physical therapist, an orthopedist. Take care of that first, because to try to pile fitness on top of pain, nothing good is going to come of it. I can tell you now, you're a fitness sap if you do it. If you think you can barrel through it, you're a fitness sap, and you're letting yourself buy into something stupid. That's my experience. This is what I do for a living. I know other top-level guys, and I can tell you now, if you do that, you're a fitness sap. Okay. Doesn't make you good, bad, right, or wrong, but it is what it is. You're a fitness sap. Okay? Doesn't make you a bad person if these movements are not on either. You can always fix them. That's the good thing about this. Now here's one test, an overhead squat that you can do right on your own to find out just how limited you are. It would be the subject of a regular FFTV episode, but here's a picture of an overhead squat test. You see here, dowel rod above your head, shoulder width, feet hip width, okay? And just bend down into a squat. If your feet spin out, if you can't get down very far, if your arms or your body pitches forward, if your knees cave in, you got some work to do. Now, I'm going to give you some more information on how to get started with that in future vlogs. I just wanted you to start thinking about this and look at your exercise program and see what's happening in there. Take a good look and question, am I really piling fitness on top of all these problems? Am I asking for it?